What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of RideThe6 Rebuild FZ6R. We're getting really close to the end. There's just a couple little tiny things left to do. I hope you had a good holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Now it's time to go back to work. So, anyways, a couple little things we got to do. Not sure if you remember, but when we were installing the block-off plates, I'll put the link in the video. When we did the block-off plates, there was like a support bracket that kind of holds the airbox together. I'm just going to grab it for you and show you wherever I put it. Alright, so this was the original, I guess, air intake system on the bike. It actually had a bracket that attached, like, I don't know, it was like here somewhere. This little bracket, it was attached to this and it held everything together. So I actually had my buddy cut this off for me, and he just he ground it down nice and smooth. So now that we're not using this, there's actually no bracket like front support for the airbox on the bike. So it's a tiny little thing, but it's just one of those things, like, it was just nagging at me. I'm like, I gotta do it, I gotta support it back in place again. So we're gonna be doing that. And the other thing is, so that air intake system, it used to plug into here on the airbox cover itself. Now that we don't have that, this hole is basically directing air directly down into the bike. Like, it totally bypasses the filter. So what you want to do is you want to plug this hole, you want to cover this hole up. Haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do it yet, but I do have a couple ideas. Alright guys, stay tuned. We're going to finish off this little airbox piece, and we'll see what's left on the bike. That's the place that I'm talking about. Like, if you've worked on this bike, so this little bracket mounts up there to the two bolts on the frame, and then it actually bolts to that single bolt on the airbox. And like I say, that used to be part of the stock factory air induction system, or air intake, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, the AIS, whatever you want to call that thing. So anyways, since we took that part out, there's no longer support here for this for an airbox. So so yeah, that's the piece. Let's get it in. Alright guys, this is a very tricky spot to get in and hold the camera and film. It's tricky mainly because I have the gas tank in the way here. Like, I haven't removed the tank, which is a pain in the butt. So I put the bracket in place with the bolts loosely. So let's just crank them in here. Again, I apologize. It's very hard to do all this with one set of hands. Ratchet's not ratcheting. Let's just turn this in by hand here. Oh, really difficult spot, especially if you just have to prop your gas tank up like what I've done. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now let's just crank this this last bolt in here. And there we go. So our airbox is now supported again. It was just kind of dangling there before. I mean, it's probably not going to go anywhere because the gas tank's sitting on it, but I'd rather have it strapped in so nothing's loose, nothing's rattling. So yeah, if you do the block-off plates, guys, you're probably going to have to do this yourself. Just get a grinder, cut that piece off the stock air intake system or air induction system, whatever you want to call it. Cut this little bracket off, and yeah, just mount it back up in place. So there you go. That's that thing done. Alright guys, so let's move on to this airbox cover. So we need to cover that hole in the airbox cover to prevent essentially dirty air from going right down into the engine. So I found, actually my buddy gave me a couple of these. It's just like a rubber, looks like what you'd put on the end of a copper pipe or something. Initially I thought these would be perfect. Unfortunately there's only one problem. They're too small. Like this would be like nice and clean. Just put the cap on right here and yeah, I'd be done with it. But yeah, they're too small, so we're going to go another option. We're actually going to use a pop pin that came out of the bike. It actually fits the hole, but the problem is it's too loose. So we're just going to put a bit of silicone in there. So I grabbed a tube of silicone today at Canadian Tire. Just a marine grade clear transparent silicone. Good for fiberglass, wood, metal, glass, or plastic. $5 for the tube, not a big deal. Let's get this baby opened up. Don't want to cut too much off it here. Alright, there we go. Yeah, lighting kind of sucks. I'll do my best, guys. So we're just going to run a bead of silicone. Just going to run a bead of silicone around the edge of this hole. Maybe I'll throw some down in there too. It's not going to hurt. Alright, and let's just let's pop our pop pin in there. So we'll put it in, we'll pop the thing down. There you go, so you heard it lock. Just wet your finger, just smooth your silicone out around this thing. So yeah, so we've capped off the hole that would essentially allow dirty air down inside your engine. So now it's forced to go in through your filter first, so at least the air is going to be clean. Alright, let's let that dry. Let's get it on the bike. So we're just going to tighten these bolts in, guys. I'm actually holding the tank up with one hand and tightening everything with the other hand. This is what happens when you don't want to take the tank off. You either got to prop it up somehow or yeah, essentially hold it in one hand, this baby. Alright guys, so there we go. Airbox is all bolted back in place. You can see my my little silicone fix and the pop plug. So there we go. Airbox is all set up. We got the bracket in place. So yeah, this little endeavor is good to go. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Essentially that is installing block-off plates part 2 for the FZ6R. Just something I left for a long time. So with that, this bike rebuild is essentially complete. There's not really anything else I'm going to do to the bike except tidy up a couple things. I opened these up again the other day, my flush mount signals and stuff, but I'm just going to tidy it up with a couple tie wraps. So yeah, essentially the bike is completely rebuilt from the accident. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. There's probably another bike coming in the garage very soon for a rebuild. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. And probably in an upcoming video, we're going to be working on, I'm going to show you a little power commander video for the FZ6R. So I have my cable already plugged in since the gas tank is already lifted and still not quite bolted in place. So stay tuned guys. Thanks for watching. Ride safe.